So from the time he was 10, he knew he wanted to fly. And he did. He got his pilot license by the time he was 17, which means he could fly before he could drive. He had a plane before he could actually buy a car, which is fine. Today, he's the Director General of the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, and he's been taking me through the 101 of how Kenya went to America. And apparently, buying a nice plane and having pilots and crew is not enough. Apparently, we had to get Category 1 status.
Correct.
I am learning.
Yes.
And then the airline itself, Kenya Airways, needed to also get clearance.
Traffic rights.
Traffic rights. And then after that, the airport itself,
Yes.
G.Kibe,
Yes.
had to be told, sawa.
Yes. Last point of departure, clearance.
Hey. And you're telling me the fact that we have all those plus nice planes,
Yes.
still we can't fly.
One more item.
What?
Let's go back to the airline.
Tell me.
The airline has been given traffic rights to the US.
Yes.
That is an economic authority to operate.
Yes.
Commercial.
Yes.
The last
Then issue
one,
tickets and boarding
yes,
passes.
the last one is the technical authority to operate. Now, the FAA comes back and says, is this airline technically competent to fly into United States airspace? Therefore, there's another audit they do on the airline itself in order to be granted an air operating certificate for use in the US. They call it a foreign operator's permit. Now that is the last and final step. We expect that to be granted by around the end of April by the FAA.
Wow.
Then we'll be able to go to the United States.
Okay. I was just going to ask you, is there anything else?
No, it's just the KQ's commercial decision on the date to start, which is the 28th of October this year. But they will have been fully qualified by the end of April to go to the US.
So that's when we break out the champagne, at the end of April.
Yes.
Do you know how many of us had already broken out the champagne? We're like, to Nenda America, which flight are you on? I got a visa.
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness. But
Yes.
so what does this mean for Kenya? Why should we all be excited? On a day in October,
Yes.
JFK is actually going to say the words Kenya. Actually, what is the call sign? You told me that KQ is for us right here.
KQ, on the radio, when you're talking to air traffic control, we have what is known as a call sign.
Okay.
The one to London, the KQ flight to London is KQ100.
Okay.
But when they're talking to us in air traffic control,
You pilots.
no, when they're talking to air traffic control,
Oh, right.
we're air traffic control,
Oh, right.
not the pilots.
Oh, you're not the captain anymore.
No.
Sorry.
We're the tower now.
Oh, okay.
We're the radar people.
I hear you.
Okay? When you want to take off, you say Kenya 100 is ready for takeoff. So your KQ 100 flight number, the call sign is Kenya 100.
So what would we be in New York?
Kenya 002, inbound to land at JFK. That's the call sign.
That's the call sign.
Going to New York and coming back is Kenya 003.
Wish I've lined up the dancers, but I have seen JFK.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. No, I mean, we would love to, but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So why is this big?
What's in it for Kenya?
Yeah.
This will open up a market that we've never had access to before directly. And that is the North American market.
All right.
The North American market is huge. It's one of the largest markets
It is.
globally.
Yes.
Now, imagine having a direct flight between Nairobi and JFK. That will open up the possibility for US businesses who have an Africa strategy. We've heard how Africa is the next frontier.
It is.
Now, because Africa is the next frontier, United States businesses and other businesses around the world would like to position themselves in Africa to take advantage of this new, huge
Wave, yes. Market.
wave. Kenya, Africa is the way to go.
Yeah.
Now, Kenya will offer itself as a hub. That means if you fly from the US to Nairobi, you can connect to anywhere else in Africa within a couple of hours.
This is true.
Okay. Therefore, this is what the Americans are thinking. If that is the case, we set up shop in Africa. Where should that headquarter for Africa be?
Nairobi.
Nairobi is a natural choice. Why? You can get to anywhere in Africa
From Nairobi.
from Nairobi. it's between 1 hour and the furthest place is like 6 hours away.
True.
But Nairobi is an excellent location.
It is.
They are finding, and what we in our research we have found that more than 60% of the traffic that will be using or utilizing that flight between Nairobi and JFK will be the Americans themselves.
I'll bet.
Because they want to come and set up shop in Africa, and they will start moving goods and services between Africa and the US. And Kenya is going to be their natural hub to headquarter themselves in. Now that is extremely exciting. Now, for the African,
yes,
going to the US currently, you go from Lilongwe. You have to go on Emirates or one of these other carriers.
So
you go to the east. First you go to the east, and it's in the opposite direction.
And then travel west.
And then you wait on ground there for 4 to 6 hours, and then you now travel west for a flight of 15, 16 hours.
16 hours, yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then, Lilongwe, it's a 1.5 hour flight to Nairobi.
True.
And you come on, and you fly on KQ.
Yes.
Then, the way they will organize their network is that you will connect in less than 2 hours.
It's one terminal.
It's one terminal.
Yes.
2 hours, you get onto the plane,
yes,
and you're on your way to New York. You land there 15 hours later when you have a headwind. When you're taking a long time, it will take 15 hours.
That is the pilot speaking now.
Yes, a headwind.
The headwind.
15 hours, you'll be in New York.
Yeah.
Then from there, you can connect to anywhere in the US. But most of the people will actually originate from New York.
Yes.
A lot of them.
A lot of them.
A lot of them will originate there. Other places are Washington, D.C., which is only about an hour away from New York.
True.
Atlanta,
yes,
which is also about an hour and a half away from there. So what will happen, I see that KQ will make deals with their partner in SkyTeam, that is Delta Airlines. So we expect with Delta, it's the top 3 airlines in the US. You can connect to anywhere in the US from that hub.
And now you can come to Africa.
And then from Nairobi, you can connect to anywhere in Africa. So the advantage for the African is huge.
It's huge.
Now, what is the advantage for Kenya? JKIA being a hub means that there will be increased traffic in that airport.
For sure.
That will add business to not just the airline, but even to the providers of services. Ground handling.
Yes.
Catering.
Yes.
Mama Mboga.
Yes.
Wherever she is will benefit.
Yes.
Her vegetables and fruit will be required most seriously at that airport where there's the catering services that are required. So you see there's a benefit even to Mama Mboga on the ground. Car hire people, the tour operators, the travel agents, all this will get extra business
the
from
value
the people
chain is huge.
It's a huge value chain, and that is for the people who are coming into Kenya.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Their destination is Nairobi and into Kenya. And then even for the transit.
Yes.
Even for the transit passenger, which already 70% of the traffic at Jomo Kenyatta Airport is transit. You're increasing that ancillary business that is around the airport.
So all those airport hotels that are finally coming up will be needed.
They will be needed. And we're going to make arrangements where we can treat those hotels as what we call sterile zones. So you don't need to check out of immigration.
No.
You just leave your plane, you go hop onto a bus, you go to Lazizi or the 4 Points or the other one there in Syokimau, Garden,
buy to eat.
Spend the night depending on how long your transit will be, and then you just go back into the airport as if you had not even entered Kenya.
That's true.
That's extra business.
Yeah.
So we're looking at a huge new opportunity for Kenya and for Africa.
Why are you excited about this in your time as DG?
Well, I was involved in the acquisition of Category 1. Okay. So I'm delighted about that, personally.
All right.
But I'm even happier for that group of people who made it possible. Yes. We had 22 young aviation professionals, men and women, who did that job for us from the various departments that we have. flight operations, airworthiness, licensing. The departments we had that answered those 330 questions and demonstrated to the Americans that we are who we say we are.
Yes.
I'm proud of those Kenyans.
And that's the way it should be. So there you are. So yes, I know there'll be Vigelegele in October when we are going to America. But the thing is, it took us a moment to get here. And it just didn't take a nice new plane. Thank you. That's probably the best story I've ever heard in the aviation industry.
Welcome.
Best story ever.
There are many more.
Okay, good. I'll call you back. His name is Captain Kibe. When you meet him on the streets, tell him, well done, sir. And he'll say, and I'll send your salams to all others. Because apparently there's a chain of people. It wasn't just the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. I'd like to say congratulations to KAA, to KQ, to yourselves, twice. And now you know the story of how Kenya went to America.